Hi, fourth graders, this is Miss McCormick. We're going to be doing the spelling words for the story, The Man Who Named the Clouds. In this list of words, we're going to have a couple of different variations. We're going to have a base word or root word, and that's why we're going to use this chart. And then we'll add suffixes, which are endings to words, and we'll add those over here. There's a couple of different rules that are going to be in play. These phonics rules are pretty easy once you get the hang of them, so there's a couple of different examples of those in your list. So let's go ahead and get started. Your first word is going to be watched. I watched the game. Let's do our base word, which is watch. For a ch at the end of a syllable following a single short vowel, the ch is spelled with a TCH. Okay, that should always happen. TCH at the end of a single syllable following a single short vowel. The ending is the past tense, ed, and it's pronounced, and I'm going to write it over here in virgules, which are the forward slashes, which means the sound is made when you see those two slashes. The sound is t, watched. And the reason why it says the t is because the past tense ed, right here, ed says t when the word ends in an unvoiced consonant. Ch is an unvoiced consonant, so the ed is going to say the t sound. The next word is watching. Watching. So our base word is watch. And our suffix ending is ing, I-N-G, ing. The next word is danced. Our base word is dance. And our ending is ed. We can't have two e's next to each other, so this one is going to be dropped. Okay. That e help the C say the S sound, because C followed by an E, I, or Y makes the C say the S sound. This E is gone, but this E is doing that job. So this E is doing two jobs. It's part of the ED ending, and it's helping the C say the S sound. Okay, let's pull this card back out. ED following an unvoiced consonant. S is unvoiced. The ed is going to say the t sound. Danced. Let's do the word dancing. We'll do our base word, dance. Now we have to add the ing. We don't need two vowels together, so the e is going to disappear, but it made the c say the s sound. It still says the s sound, it just had to be dropped because we're not going to have those two vowels together. We can't have a silent e next to a vowel that's doing a different job. The next word is studied. Our base word is study. Okay. Now we're going to be doing the past tense ed. Okay. Here's a new phonics rule dealing with the Y. If there is a consonant before the Y, change the Y to an I, except when the suffix starts with an I. This is studied, the past tense. So there's a consonant before the Y, so we change the Y to an I. There's no I beginning the suffix, so that's how we'll write the word studied. The I does not change the sound. It still says E, study, because the Y can say E at the end of a base word. Alright, let's do the word studying. Study is our base word. We're going to add the ing. Now, there's a consonant before the Y, so we change the Y to an I, except when the suffix starts with an I. So the Y stays where it is. Okay? Let me move this up. So do you see why the Y is changed to an I when you add a suffix that starts with a vowel that is not an I? You leave the Y if the suffix starts with an I, but you only change it if there is a consonant in front of the Y. Alright, the next word is stopped. The base word is stop. And it's the ending of ed. Stopped. Now, there's another rule. And I need to bring out this other page to show you. I hope this all fits. If not, I'll just move it around. Okay, so we have a base word. This is going to help us to know whether we're going to double the final consonant of the base word before we add the suffix ending. So here is our base word, stop. We're going to add the ed ending. Does the base word have one syllable? Yes. One vowel sound, so it has one syllable. Does the base word have a short vowel sound? Yes, it has the ah. Does the base word end in one consonant sound? P. Yes, it does. It's not a blend at the end. It's just a single consonant sound. Does the suffix begin with a vowel? Yes, it does. It starts with the E. So, you double the final consonant if the answer to all of these questions is yes. The answer to all of those questions is yes, so we double the P before adding ed. Okay, there's going to be a couple of other words that are on our list that I've already got ready to show you. So, because all the answers to those questions were yes, we double the P before adding the ed. Alright, the next word is stopping. Our base word is stop. And in fact, on this page, stopping is one of the examples. So we've got stop plus the ing. It does have one syllable. It has a short vowel. The word ends in one consonant sound. The suffix begins with a vowel. And because all of them are yes, we double the P before adding the ing. So here's our page. Stopping. Okay, our next word is dried. Our base word is dry. Okay, here's that Y. So probably going to have to deal with it just like we dealt with the word study. Dried is the ed. Okay, the rule says that there's a consonant before the Y. Yes. Change the Y to an I and add the ending as long as it doesn't start with an I. It does not start with the I, so we drop the Y and add the I. Now, danced had the T sound because the word ends in an unvoiced consonant. Study actually ends in a vowel sound. So, the ed says D when the word ends in a vowel or a voiced consonant. Because study ends in a vowel sound, ed says the D sound. Let's look at another one. Stopped. The P is an unvoiced consonant, so the ED says the unvoiced T sound. Dried ends in a vowel sound. The base word is a vowel sound. I, so it has the D sound. Dried. Let's do drying. The base word is dry, and our suffix is ing. There's a consonant before the Y, so you would change the Y to an I, except for when the suffix starts with an I. So we do not change it because there's an I here. We don't want two I's together. Very few words have I's together. The next word is rob. The base word is rob, and we want to do the past tense, ed. So let's take a look to see if we need to double that. Here's our list again. Rob, we want the ed. The base word is a single syllable. It does have a short vowel. It ends with a one consonant sound, and the suffix starts with a vowel, so we are going to double the B and add the ed. Robbed. Let's go ahead and look at robbing. All the answers are yes. We're going to double the B before adding the ing. So we double the B before adding the ed. Rob, b is a voiced consonant, so the ed is going to have the D sound. The next word is robbing. We already know that we're going to double the B before adding the ing. Robbing. All right, let me move my page up a little bit more for you. All right, the next word is hurried. Let's do our base word, hurry. Hurry. We're going to do hurried. Okay, so we know it's going to be the past tense ed. Here's that Y. Consonant before the Y, yes. Change the Y to an I, except for when the suffix starts with an I. It does not start with an I, so we do change it to an I, because the I is a vowel. Let's see, where can I put this so you can see it? There we go. A vowel. The ed says D. Hurried. The next word is hurrying. Our base word is hurry. Our suffix is ing. The Y has a consonant in front of it. You would change it, but the suffix starts with an I, so the Y stays where it is. All right, the last word is happened. Our base word is happen. Happen. And we know we want the past tense ed. There's no Y. We don't need to change it because it's actually two syllables. A and E are two vowel sounds, so it's a two-syllable word. So we are not going to double it, the N. And let's look. Is a voiced consonant right here. So the ed is going to say the D sound. Happened. The next word is happening. Our base word is happen, and ing. And that's all we need to do to that one. All right, so that is your list for the man who named the clouds. You learned quite a few things about when to double and when not to double. You also learned about voiced and unvoiced endings of the word and what the ed is going to say when that happens. All right, I'm going to bring this chart up. Scoot it over a little bit. There we go. So y'all can review this a little bit more in your class if you need to. All right, talk to you later.